G'day, everyone. Welcome back to the Comics to Movies and More show. We've done 2 weeks in a row. Whoa, yay!
Now, there will be a third as well. So,
Yes.
and we'll talk about that slightly later. But there will be 3 weeks in a row. So,
I feel like we're slowly getting back on a schedule. So, as we're going to say, we go live 10 p.m. each Sunday night. So, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that notify bell. We also do some short videos that will drop throughout the week to help with Kickstarters, creating. Stephen does some really cool lettering videos, which always seem to get a lot of views throughout the week. So subscribe to our channel and join us on a Sunday night to talk everything movies, comics, and more, which is super exciting. And how are we tonight, mate? It's been a big week, and we're back at it again.
All good, all good. I don't know. The weekend goes past too quickly. I find like we use the weekends to prepare for the week. So by the time the weekend's over, it's like, oh God, what have we done? And you always think, not much really. It's like clean the house,
It's funny
get the lunches ready. It's that type of thing. And then it's like, oh gosh, it's done really. It's to catch up for what you don't do Monday to Friday more than anything else.
Yeah, I know. So it was funny. We're going to have a little bit of a sleep in, and we thought the oldest one will go across next door to my mother-in-law and have breakfast over there and everything, except she got told the night before that that's what she was going to do. So she was excited that she came in and woke us up at about 4:30 a.m. to say, oh, can I go across to Ma and Pa's, and I'm like, it's 4:30 in the morning. It's pitch black outside. Like, what are you doing? Get back into bed. So we didn't have our sleep in, and we ended up, as you said, catching up on the week. We went and did our grocery shopping. Lizzie cooked a couple of meals for the week to be prepared, type of thing. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like I wouldn't mind like having that one extra day to just like do something fun, do something cool. Although, I was telling you before, I did have my 25 year school reunion on Saturday night, so that was something kind of cool and different. I can't remember the last time I've been to a pub past about 8 o'clock, so it was nice to go out and have a drink. So yeah.
Just on what you mentioned just before, and I know it's an aside topic, but have you actually heard the talks about a 4-day weekend? I mean, I'm not 4-day weekend, a 4-day working week.
Yeah. There are a couple of places that are starting to trial it now.
I know. Look, it used to be my dad still remembers it used to be a 6-day week. 6-day week. This is back in Malaysia. So Saturday was considered a work day. And then Malaysia, what they did was they made it 5.5 days. So your Saturday was until 1 or 2 o'clock. So you still have the rest of the day free. Now Malaysia's a 5-day thing. I would really like to see the 5-day week vanish because, and they said, oh, the world's going to end. Of course, it's not going to end. What will happen is I'm actually more than happy to tag 2 hours onto Mondays to Thursdays and get a Friday off. I would be more than happy to do so. I think it's possible, and I'm really hoping it's within my lifetime that happens.
I find I'm just way more productive over 4 days. Like I reckon that fifth day is like I feel like I'm still productive, but it's getting towards the end of the week, especially say that last 3 or 4 hours on a Friday. You're literally just watching the clock going.
Oh,
okay.
let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
we're not anybody who sets a meeting at 4 o'clock on a Friday.
You're getting fired.
No.
You're getting walked out the door.
You're an idiot to do so. Like nobody's turning up. Everybody's got an excuse on. Like seriously. But anyway, I know it's a totally different topic. 4-day working week. That's within my lifetime. That would be really, really nice. Not taking a pay cut for it, but I just want it to be standard. I think it's really possible. The other thing that would make it possible would be is they've actually extended, like, if they shift the style to retail and things to have extended time and more standard day-to-day jobs to be, then you'll figure it out. People will figure it out. Bit more inconvenient, but yeah. Hey, Sazigo.
Yeah. So we've got a few people in the chat. So got Paulo, how you going? We've got Moira. Moira, how we going? Haven't seen you for a while, so good to catch up with you. And Jen, I hear you with Dan this weekend. It was Dan's birthday today, so happy birthday to Dan Furigal as well. So which is kind of cool. So, but yeah, we didn't know Jackie. Where is Jackie? I can't believe Jackie's not here. I was looking forward to having Jackie. No need to apologize, Moira. We're always happy to have you here. There's no Mandeep, but I think
no, we love it when you're here. It's a lot more fun. But
of course,
I hope Mandeep turns up. He sometimes comes in a bit later because Moira, I think you watched the World Cup, and I don't know if you know the results yet. Can I spoil it for you, or the Rugby World Cup?
Yes, I know who won. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the scoreline afterwards. It's 1 point. That must have been a hell of a game.
I want to go back and watch the Matildas.
Oh, which one? Which game?
Tonight they played the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
You didn't hear the scoreline to that?
No, I haven't.
8-0.
Oh, that's not a fun game to watch, though.
Oh yeah, like to see Australia kick that many goals. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it.
Oh, I much prefer games which are tight than they are blowouts. I really like games where, you know what, anybody could snatch in the last few seconds and that type of thing. If it's a blowout game, it's fun to watch it, but it's not exciting. Once you're 5-0 up, you know, there's no comeback chance. It's not going to. I like really, really tight and close games. Those are a bit more fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's sometimes I love my AFL, love my Hawks, but it is like when you're watching two teams that are not your team that are in the grand final, when it's an absolute blowout from one side to the other, it's like, it's like it's not that great to watch because it was kind of like, okay, it gets a bit boring because the other side's not even in it. So I do like it when it's close. This year was a close grand final. It was fun to watch right towards the end as well because, as you said, it was only a kick in it, and it's like, okay, well, who's going to win, type of thing. So, he did make it, Jackie, Jackie. Whoa, there you go, mate. Hope you're having a good weekend. So. Well, tonight we're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to talk about Transformers. I said to Stephen after last week that it was a good excuse for me to come back and talk about Transformers and how much I love them and Linkin Park and all of that. I'm going to give some news and a sneak peek into the brand new remastered, retold, reissue XCT. So we're gonna talk about that, which is cool, and we're going to touch on a brand new series that Stephen and I have created along with a amazing artist called Sisters of Blood. So it's going to be pretty chill.
I've got everything all loaded up, so when we get to it, I'm more than happy to show you.
There we go.
Let's talk Transformers first. What do you think of the movie?
You
always talk behind your back, Jackie. You have to rewatch it and find out what we said.
I was saying nice stuff, Jackie. It wasn't me. It was this guy here. This guy. Yeah. I tell you what, I was watching it before I jumped on this stream, and I tell you what, again, it goes back to last week to Fast and Furious. It's not the best storytelling, but yeah, I just, it's got like that fondness of love, and I don't know whether it's because I loved the cartoons growing up or I loved the animated movie, but seriously, it's a really fun watch. It's like popcorn or
it's
t-
Michael Bay, explosions. The only thing I would say is they should have bring the big robots in a lot earlier.
that was the one thing that did surprise me going back and rewatching it was that I was like, far out. There's like the little innuendo at the very very start, but you actually don't see them transform or anything other than the tiny little robot thing. But it's like it literally is almost like 40 minutes into the film.
Mandeep's here.
Oh, man, DP's here. Hey, and Grace is here.
Yep.
Hi, Grace. How you going? Mandeep, how are you? So,
Look, I'm gonna steal the
got a
screen for
full
1
house
second.
tonight, mate. I'm loving this.
I'm gonna steal the screen for 1 second before then we can jump back to this image. But if we're talking about what Jackie said about robots killing robots, um, this scene it basically destroyed my childhood. So I'll show you what it is because I didn't believe it was going to happen. There's actually a whole story behind why they did this, by the way. But this is child destroying. You know, if you know what this scene is, you understand why it's one of the saddest scenes. Do you remember it?
Yes. It's when he passes the Matrix onto Rodimus Prime. Rodimus.
Yeah. Hot
You
rods.
got the touch. You got the power. Oh, it's one of my favorite scenes. And then he's opening up the Matrix, and it's like.
Do you know the story of why they did this, by the way?
No.
And why? This was actually between a Transformer season. So what they've discovered was this is still, if you go back Transformer lore, this is G1 Transformers. So
yeah,
and what they figured out was, you know what? If I bought Optimus Prime in season 1, I'm not going to buy him again. I've got my Optimus Prime. I'm sweet. I'm done. I can keep playing with him. So what they decided was, it's like, we need to get these kids to buy more robots. But because the way Transformers, the television series goes, there were a lot of robots, which were the key robots. You've got probably Bumblebee, Optimus, and they were going, oh gosh, the kids bought Bumblebee once, they're going to buy him again. Like, what's the point? So the movie was actually initially the decision was made down was kill everybody that's important, or re-engineer everybody or like Megatron to Galvatron and all the rest of it. Kill everybody and introduce the whole new cast. So you got Springer, which was new, RC, and all these new characters came in, and they decided, you know what, we just kill them all off. And that's exactly what they did. The funny thing was, the toys didn't sell well. Of all the new characters, they didn't sell that well.
I loved my Rodimus Prime. It was like that was my ultimate car growing up as a kid. That was like my favorite toy because it was like Hot Rod, but then he had like it was kind of like a excuse me. It was kind of like a van, like a RV type thing. And when I opened it up, he had like this massive gun that he would stand on and everything. It was like, yeah. Also, like, so I'm surprised at that. But that's clever from a again, this was all about selling toys and everything. Same with G.I. Joe and everything. But what a clever way to be able to keep that animated series. And I wonder whether the same mentality is around that when they change the different generations. Then, like, you know, when they do Beast Wars and when they do, is that because they want to sell different? Wow, I never
exactly.
That's really clever.
People love Optimus Prime, so they don't want him to die. There was huge backlash. They actually brought him back about 8 episodes later, by the way. If I don't quote me, if the chat knows better, you can get the exact number of episodes before Optimus Prime came back. Somebody in the chat will know better than I will. But they brought him back because the backlash was huge. Not because Rodimus Prime was bad, or I don't think he was a bad character or whatever. You can't kill Optimus. At least with Megatron was still Galvatron. You know what I mean? The character just shifted design. And
well,
then
they had the Optimus Prime lookalike, which was Ultra Magnus.
The toy was exactly the same, if you remember. If you actually bought the toy.
But just different colors. He was white and blue rather than red and blue type of thing. But
exactly.
That's it.
It was the exact same toy. They actually made the interior all white, as you said. And what they did was then you had additional armor bits you bolted onto the toy. But it was exactly the same sculpt. So it's like, and that's what they figured. They figured that's the easiest way to do it. That's how come Transformers, every so often, Optimus Prime is now a gorilla. He's now this, he's now that. And they figured it doesn't alienate the fans, but all the people who want to collect the toys will go, that's not Optimus Prime I have to buy. And they buy it.
Yeah.
I know it's cynical, but they actually did the movie really well. It's actually one of the more Orson Welles was the voice of Unicron, if you know who that. It's incredible. Leonard Nimoy was in it. It's incredible the talent they got for it. For a kids' cartoon in 1986, this was amazing, and the fact that they just killed wholesale, like
was it 86 that it came out? Wow,
86,
I was only
86.
5.
Oh, you might have watched the rerun. It brought out quite a few times.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll jump back to the happier one.
Well, Moira said, "Am I drunk? Why are you asking that, Moira? Do I look at? Is it my red eyes or whatever? If it is, it's more because of my little girl just not sleeping and waking me up at ungodly hours, than me actually having too much to drink." And I've still got this nasty cough that I can't seem to get rid of. Kieran from Half Tone Productions, how are we going, mates?
So we might as well spoil it. So hopefully, if all goes well, we'll see you next week, Kieran.
That's it. So get him on. There's something exciting that he's launching, and here we go. Too much singing. Yes, I have to admit, I am someone that when I have a few drinks in me, I get this confidence that I feel like I can sing, even though I know that I'm totally tone deaf. And I'll start dancing as well. They're the two things that I do when I have a couple of too many bevies. So it's quite funny. But getting back onto to Transformers, just rewatching it, I was kind of I really like the music throughout the movie as well, like the way they build up to certain scenes and everything in that music when you first see Optimus Prime change for the first time. But it's really weird having just watched Rise of the Beasts in the Beast Wars one not that long ago, and seeing how he looks in like that Gen 1 look. I'm now like going, I wish that they'd done that look with these ones, type of thing.
Went something very like they went the whole nuts and bolts in this one rather than the plates. So
yeah,
I think it was nice, mainly because, but there is one photo from the Transformers the movie. It's actually the most iconic photo from this movie, and it's actually not a Transformer. I'll do the Jeopardy thing. Dun, 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 dun. Can everybody guess what that is before I bring the photo up? What's the most
Megan
iconic
Fox
photo? Yeah, it is. And not just Megan Fox. It's one scene, and I'll bring it up. And this is the most iconic
it's going to be the car scene.
It's the car scene. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the photo that sold the movie.
Yes. 2007 this came out, and I was like, wow, that's 16 years ago. I was like, I didn't realize, like, well, I guess there's been 7 or 8 films now, so But yeah, 2007, and I was like, damn, both Megan Fox and Shia look like really young in this type of thing. So, yeah, I like. I've seen Megan Fox in quite a few movies, and I think she's actually like a really good actress, but she just seems to be like typecast that because she's so beautiful. She just kind of gets played as this girl that needs to be saved type of role all the time. But yeah, I would prefer to see her in like a kick-ass action film, which I think there is one. There was a lion one where she was like a military person and everything. She was really cool in that. Can't remember the name of the film. Someone in the chat might know, but yeah.
The one issue that they had was that Michael. Anyway, this is just rumors, gossip. Wasn't there? I can read secondhand. But Michael Bay and her supposedly got to some really epic fights, and
hence why she's not in the third film.
Yeah, Michael Bay wanted her for eye candy, and that was it. And she fought against that quite a bit. And he goes, you know what? I'll find somebody else to be the eye candy, and she got the flick straight away. It was
and,
like,
sorry. And I'll tell you what. This is where you go into the writing of the show. Her back character is, she's got like a little bit of a deadbeat dad, but like she knows a lot of about cars. And the scene just before this, before the car breaks down or Bumblebee deliberately breaks down, is that she tells the guy that she's with, he's like, "Oh, just get into the car, babe. You're my eye candy." And she's like, "I'm nobody's eye candy," and that's when she walks off. So I'm like, you've built a character and used lines in regards to making her not that, and then for the whole film, that's exactly what you've made her type of thing. So, look, she does save Sam a couple of times in regards to the little robots and stuff, but yeah, I reckon it would have been really cool to see her like really kick ass when
Expendables 4. She's in the latest Expendables. Yeah, she's a.
Oh, really? Is she the new one?
Yeah. So I thought you were talking about that one because she's the she kicks ass in it. Like I haven't seen it yet, but she's the. Let me just. This one on Wiki. She's the CIA operative.
Man, David never watched the Transformers cartoons.
You have to. I mean, it's a bit dated now, and I have gone back to watch it. But as a kid, you never watched it. It was on.
Yeah, geez, man, deep. What cartoons were you watching in the 80s? Do tell us. Jackie, is this true or is this just a fan?
I think he wants it to happen.
Because yeah, if she was, hell yeah, that would be awesome. So.
And she's a pretty good voice actress. She actually acted as April O'Neil in quite a few of the TMNT things. It's like
Sorry, say that again.
So in a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Megan Fox was the voice actress for April O'Neil.
Yes.
And
she was in the live action ones.
She was also in the live actions as well.
The two live actions, yeah.
So there you go. So she's not too bad.
I wasn't a kid when the cartoons came out. Okay.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
We'll leave that one there. We'll let that one slide, man, dude.
I'll bring back. But the other thing which I really like for this one is they brought Optimus Prime's original voice actor back. So I'm also actually really, really happy about that one.
He's got such a distinct voice. Like, he's been to Australia a couple of times to the conventions and everything. And like, man, I don't know if anyone can do Optimus's voice other than this guy. It's like, Peter Cullen. You just you literally he's one person you just don't want him to pass away. It's like, Luke Skywalker, it's always going to be Mark Hamill. You can't replace him with someone else, like to the point that they even redigitized his face onto someone else's body to make him.
I have to ask that since you touched on that topic. So, as you know, in The Mandalorian, they had one whole they had the season finale, but that was only like 2 minutes. But they actually had one whole episode where they put young Mark Hamill onto
season 3. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Because there's a lot of chat that, and again, the whole AI thing. Can they get somebody's face? Can you say what's your thoughts? And I'll give you the scenario. I'll just use as an example, but I may not be right in that example. Let's say Mark Hamill acted in the first three Star Wars. Therefore, the studio owns the rights to all 3 movies. So, am I allowed, on a moral or ethical basis, to go, you know what? I own the 3 movies. I'm now going to scrape the data of Mark Hamill's face as Luke Skywalker and feed it into a machine. Now that I've got all that mannerisms and there's enough materials that I fed into the machine, and I own that. I own that material as the studio. That's not in question. Can I now get somebody wear, say, a green mask and just put that and reanimate that face, knowing that I own the original material?
They've already done it.
But without paying Mark Hamill to say I own it all. Yeah,
they've already done it.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, what's your moral, ethical standpoint? Is it right? Is it wrong? Should they have done it? Should they not have done it?
Because they did it with Tarkin. They did it with Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yep.
Because the actor, the person's passed away and everything. It's hard. It's being a Star Wars fan. There is a part of me that is like it was great to see Carrie Fisher as a young self, and it was great to see Tarkin because he's such a major character he
was the main villain in number 1 and number 104, depending on how you look at it, but he was the main villain,
type of thing. And in the expanded universe, he is the big bad. He's almost on the same level as Darth Vader in regards to or Thrawn in regards to the level of his badassness in the Empire type of thing. So, but from I don't know, and we talked about this last week as well in regards to Fast and Furious, and then maybe doing it with Paul Walker. I think I like it as a cameo. So Tarkin was, I think, he had 2 lines at the very end. Carrie Fisher was still alive when they de-aged her and everything. Mark Hamill is still alive and gave permission to de-age him.
I think Peter Cushing is the Tarkin. Again, chat will correct me.
Yep, no, that's right.
But should you give money to his estate, for example, who is next of kin, or is it, hey, look, it's mine. I've got it recorded.
Nah, 100% that I feel it should go to the estate. It's like if they're going to do Bruce Lee coming out, and they decide to do Bruce Lee, it should go to his family. If you're going to use that, it gets so.
By the way, I don't have the answer. This is the strike was real. Forget the pay rise. The pay rise is basically irrelevant. This was what the strike was all about. Because imagine, let's say Megan Fox, use an example. We just take her first 2 movies. We go, Megan, never paying you again. We've got enough material that we paid you for in the first 2 movies. We'll get some body double, and we'll figure the rest out. And we'll never pay you again because we paid you twice for 2 movies. We've got enough what we need. I don't know. Are they allowed to? I mean, they do it, but it's not that simple to say it's right or wrong because
it's crazy. Because for us, I look at it from 2 points of view. A lot of people that are not in the creative industry and adjust fans might look at it from a fan's point of view, which is what I was saying. Being a big Star Wars fan, it was kind of cool to see, Tarkin back up there, a young Princess Leia, a young Mark Hamill, so on and so forth. But then being on the opposite side, being a creative, having my own IP, and all of that type of stuff, and even trying to kind of dip my toe into the television world, like seeing that like behind the scenes in regards to how hard it is to get paid. The pay, unless you're in that top 2%, is not that great, type of thing. That if we're continually removing these jobs, it's just going to make it like harder and harder for people to make a living off. But then I also look at it from a business point of view. So from the third point of view, and it's like, if I can save time, if I can save money, and I can save resources and produce something that would be deemed high quality at a fraction of the cost, well, then from a business point of view, doesn't that make sense? So it's very interesting, like being someone that's all three, is being a fan that like has seen and is watching stuff, and is really, I've got Disney Plus subscription, so I'm paying to watch that type of stuff, and by doing that is also almost giving my approval for them to do that, because I'm paying to watch it and continually watch it. But then, as I said, from that business point of view, where you're a small business owner, you're trying to compete with the big guys and all that type of stuff. It's like, well, if I can do all of this stuff automated, done like, in a fraction of the time, I'm able to use motion capture and all these, some of these amazing tools that are out there now. Should that be something that I'm doing? And then from being a creative person and working with you, and we're we want to hold on to all of our IP and those type of things. It's like, well, how quickly will we lose something like that if it gets into a bigger company that's just like, yep, thanks. We're going to take all that. We actually don't need you guys, and we're going to change things. So you'll get credited, but you won't even get like a royalty. You'll get, maybe $2 or something, and your name in the credits. Like, so again, I know you're saying I don't know what the answer is.
I don't have the answer. Look, I've got another moral conundrum to put to you then. Look, in Luke Skywalker's Return to the Mandalorian, they actually had Mark Hamill's blessing. Mark Hamill said, fine. Actually, it was Mark Hamill's voice in some of the scenes as well. Not all of them, but in some of the scenes, it was
majority. Yep.
What would happen is, because Mark Hamill doesn't own Luke Skywalker, it's not his. Luke Skywalker is owned by Lucasfilms, the character. So what would normally have happened is, if say Mark Hamill goes, I hated Star Wars, I never want anything to do with Luke Skywalker again, I'm out skis. They would then have to hire somebody else who maybe has similar features, looks like him or whatever. But then do they put the money side aside? Like, they have to pay for likenesses or whatever. It doesn't matter. They'll put the money side aside. But can they say, hey, wait, I own the character. I'm allowed to use this. I'll pay you for it, but I'm allowed to use it. Can you actually say to them, no, you can't use my... So this is not the person's likeness. So this is where the distinction happens. Like if I took photos of you out of thing, I cannot just use your likeness. But this is the likeness that was portrayed in other films. So you've given the rights up for that likeness already in other films. Can I now reuse that likeness, money aside? Like, don't forget my royalties. If I say you can't, let's say if I say you can't, you reuse my license in the next couple of films. Are you allowed to say that's not happening? And
you
you know what I
can
mean?
you can say no, but the issue is with these big companies,
But you
and
don't own it.
hence
You don't
why
own it though.
there's a
That's the
strike.
thing.
It's like if you
You
don't do
can't.
it and you
As of right
don't
now,
sign that
you
contract.
can't say no. As of right now, you can't say no because that likeness is although that's your face, that likeness as that character as it stands isn't owned by you. Luke Skywalker, the character, is owned by Lucasfilms, who just so happens to look like Mark Hamill. You can see the
Yep.
distinction. It's not like Mark Hamill looks like Luke Skywalker. It's Luke Skywalker, the character in the first 4 films, just happens to look like the man Mark Hamill. I want to
Yes.
use Luke Skywalker in my future things. I'll pay you money aside, put the money aside. But can Mark Hamill object to Luke Skywalker, the character, looking like him again?
So
Because I could
so
hire
that's
it.
what so that's what
Sorry, sorry.
they're wanting to do now, because that's what they're saying. A lot of this stuff was not kind of around when certain contracts were signed,
Oh,
and
exactly.
all that type of stuff. So it's like people didn't. The only person that I know of that has written in their contracts that they're not allowed to have their likeness is Keanu Reeves. He's the only, and he's done that since
Smart
the
guy.
Matrix. Done that since the Matrix. Hence, why they couldn't do any more Matrixes without Keanu Reeves. Is like not it's in all of his contracts. So it's really interesting that he's in a movie like The Matrix and he's got like something like that in his contract. But yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's like, and also what I was going to say to begin with is these big companies, they have you over a barrel, because like if they're going, we're going to give you a 4 movie deal. This is going to make you into a superstar, blah blah blah. But and then all of these contractual obligations in regards to giving away your likeness, having no say, all these type of things. It's like they've got you over a barrel. It's either like you're going to give away all of your rights, or you're not. And if you're not going to be the film, because we'll just go on to the next person and we'll find that person that is. And I think that's why it's really interesting at the moment with the strike, because they're like, we don't want you to have that in any contracts, because then it makes it like it's unfair, because there'll be some people that'll be like, yep, like I'm going to do it because I want to be able to get my break type of thing. And then there's people that establish going, well, I've got a brand and an image, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want them to then turn, Luke Skywalker into a cross-dressing, something like completely
even losing the rights
different.
to it. Yeah. But the reason I brought this up more than anything else is, did you know that Jet Li was meant to be in The Matrix? Jet Li was actually in contract negotiations for Matrix Reloaded. And I'm going to bring this one up because he turned it down for the exact same reason. I don't know if you can see it. What they wanted to do was, and I guarantee you Jackie knows the story. So Jackie, if you want to chime in with more stuff, feel free to, because I know you know more of the stuff. So what happened was, one of the initial contracts with Jet Li had on was they wanted to motion capture. Jet Li is a huge martial arts thing. Like, if you look at his body of work in all the Chinese movies and stuff like that, he's one of the biggest action superstars from Hong Kong. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to motion capture all his moves, because what they were using in Matrix a lot, if you remember, is some of the more difficult moves were all computer generated. So they wanted to motion capture all of Jet Li's plethora of moves and go, you know what? You're in for this movie, but next movie, don't need you so much. I'll just change the face, same moves.
Yeah.
So the article here is like, for 6 months, they wanted to take all this out. So basically, they want to pay for 6 months and basically do a full download of all his moves. And you know how the Matrix pioneered a lot of things, like the multiple camera shots, like they put
Yeah.
all the kind of, so it's like almost like a cat. Think about it, the way I always think about it is it's like a CAT scan for motion, because you have cameras basically all the way around you. And they were just basically, you do a particular move, we've captured it with 50 cameras all in the circle. I can now rotate that as much as I like, rotate it up, down, left, right, whatever. I can now replicate it ad nauseum, ad infinitum. And Jet Li said,
Wow.
go get stuffed. And he said, no, not doing it.
Jeez, that is I'd never heard of that.
This
But
is
this
5 years
is
ago. This is pre the strike. So I do
yeah, I
dig through
can
the
see
rabbit
five
holes.
5 years ago
Yeah.
that article is. But I find that very interesting because there are certain things that have come up, and there's been another couple of movies in regards to, actual actors signing away their likeness and everything. So even though the technology wasn't around, clearly someone
Was planning for it. Yeah.
was planning for it or had the forthright to go, okay, well, if we want to rehash this in 40 years and that actor has passed away, we'll just, he's signed it away, so there's no recourse there or anything. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope, and I'm not,
Yeah.
as I said before, I'm not sure what the answer is, because the flip. So the flip side of this again, being like, and I know I'd like to hear Jackie's thoughts on this, is that for someone who, Jackie, loves martial arts, loves to study martial arts, loves to see the Jet Li action and all that type of stuff. If something happened and God forbid, that he hadn't taught anyone all of his moves, would this not be an awesome way to be able to see someone that has dedicated their whole life to
But
martial
are you
arts?
entitled to it though? Because if he chooses not to record all his stuff or make it public, are you automatically entitled to it? He might say, I want it to die with me. You know what? This is my story, my legacy,
Yeah,
who I
yeah,
am. It goes with me. Should I look, I love data. I love things being kept and recorded and stats and all the rest of it. But are we allowed for these stats? And that, by the way, I know this is a rabbit hole going from Transformers, but it's an interesting conundrum, mainly because a lot of these things um, that couldn't happen 5 years ago could happen now, and it's really scary. So
and I think I'm not sure whether I touched this on this in the show and everything, but I was talking about saying, using some of these tools and that type of stuff, you can then go out and create something that's, super highly professional without spending $80 million. I haven't seen the movie myself yet, but I did go to San Diego Comic-Con and watch the panel on the Creator, the AI movie that is out at the movies at the moment, the Creator. And I'm pretty sure his name's Gareth Edwards, who's the director. He also did Rogue One. He was talking about how he filmed the majority of this film on a $2,000 Sony camera, handheld camera. So something that you can go down to from Best Buys in the US and purchase this camera. Anyone and their man can do it. And then, yes, okay, they've had a fair budget to then go to ILM and do all of the post-production stuff to make it look absolutely fantastic. But that blew my mind that the whole thing was shot on a $2,000 camera. Like, that.
100%. So I'm not a huge camera nut, so if I give the wrong model numbers, chat, please correct me and stuff. So please feel free to. But a lot of the innovations in the SLR space So you're talking about, say, the Canon 5D Mark II. Their resolution and what they capture is better than all the old $40,000 cameras. So you're talking about, it's just incredible the technology level is now. Um, anyway, it's
I
pretty
can,
accessible.
I can tell you, if people are interested, it is called the Sony FX Digital Cinema Camera. You can get it in Australia for $2,345.
There you go. And
So
you've seen all the ads as well. Like this was shot on an iPhone. You've seen all those ads that come through.
yep.
Oh look, the it's incredible. It's really incredible what technology can do.
Now we have skipped
This,
over the chat a little bit, so let's quickly
yeah,
go
let's
back
jump back
and
to the chat a
see
bit.
what the chat had said. Grace said, but they pay someone just for using their image on movies or shows, right? So even if they use AI to produce the person's likeness instead of film or digital, means the person should be paid. Yeah, I
Oh, it should
100%
be, but there's
agree with
also,
that.
can the person refuse?
That's
Because do you have a right of refusal? Yep.
yeah. Yeah, the problem is, Sean, do you want to get the job done fast or the job done right? Well, I tell you, some of the AI stuff and that, look, I think there are certain things that, like I know Mid Journey, for example, that they were doing images and it couldn't do hands and it couldn't do feet and all that type of stuff. So I can understand from that point of view. But there are other like really good stuff, like as I was saying before, there's some really good motion capture stuff that you can get. There's like now you can buy like assets for films, so you don't even need to like do the explosions or anything like that. You can just buy the assets and input it straight into your film and those type of things. So it's a fine line of going, well, where does that creativity stop and someone getting paid compared to, because if you use those assets in the film, then realistically, shouldn't the people, even though you've paid for those assets, shouldn't they get something from the film? So yeah,
It's for. Oh, I'll give you just a quick story, and I won't name this particular artist because unfortunately he's gotten flack from both sides. So I won't name him because I don't want anything else to happen to him. But what he did was he basically fed all his artwork into an AI engine to learn off his own artwork. So he does really rough sketches now. He feeds it into his learned AI bot. It spits out full inks for him. So he tells me, he says it skips 8-10 hours of work. He then comes back in and just tidies up. And he says it's the
wow.
best thing ever. And he, there's both sides to it. He's saying, oh, you're cheating, it's not fair, you save time. But it's going, but it's my own stuff. I've trained it on 30 years worth of my own work. Why can't you?
That's where the line is blurred in regards to he's using it himself as a tool
Yep.
compared to people using other people's work and other people's 30 years of experience to produce something that they would have otherwise paid for. That's where I see the difference.
What if
So
what if he sold that engine and says you can now buy my engine and it will cost you $50 a go? You know how Midjourney there's like you get multiple tries, $50 a go to use my engine. Can he do that? Can he not? And then who gets credited for that work? Is it the AI bot? Is it him? Or is it the person who did the prompt?
yeah.
But I bought it, so I own the license. That means
And
it's
the
something
other
I
thing that would
created.
be really interesting is if he's producing artwork for, clients,
He is. He's using that, and that's where the argument goes a little bit that he's still
they
charging the
then
clients.
like that from a business point of view, I would then have a problem with that because I can't copyright it.
You can't copyright if it's from a generic AI bot like a Mid-Journey. This isn't because what he does is he gets it out, and of course, when the AI comes through, there's errors. He's now
Are
fixed.
you sure about that? Are you sure
I'm
that
not
it's
100%. But I
Yeah.
know, like for example, if you edit a script, for example, and I know this one, if you edit a script and you change more than 5% of the script, you need by union laws, you need to be credited as a writer, and that's 5%. So I'm using that same idea that if you change that image by 5%, 10%, whatever that is, does it now become a different property? I don't know the answers. Is it now a different property to what it
Yeah.
was before?
I know. My understanding was anything that used AI was unable to be at the moment was unable to be copyrighted, which is what I believe the Supreme Court in the US had said. So for me, in the until that was cleared up, I'd be saying, please don't provide me work that is.
Oh, look, but
yeah,
judges' decisions with technology are usually legally incorrect. It takes a while before they get no, because the judge, like, it's very, very hard to get the legal ruling on technology right. It takes a while because it's nobody understand what it does, and you might say, okay, fine, you can do that, and then suddenly this whole ramification comes out of it. I used exactly the
yes.
same prompts you did. I got the same image. You
Why
don't own
can't
it.
I? Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
before we go too far off the track, there's two things I want to share, and just really quickly, just to let everybody know, um, there are currently two campaigns being run, and I'm going to share the links to. So the Bloodsmith video, how long is that one?
It's just like I think it's like 30 seconds or something.
Let's play the Bloodsmith
Uh-huh.
video. I know the Terra Olympus one's about 50 seconds. Let's play the Bloodsmith video, show you, and share the link. We'll play the Terra Olympus one. And we can continue just to show you guys that we are running a couple of campaigns. If you haven't seen it already, please do check it out. Let me just bring this one up. Give me a sec.
So we got
go for the video.
Bloodsmith. And it's not working. Oh, the joys of life.
I can try them up for my share if you like. Give me a sec. Let me steal it from you. And it won't work when I do it as well, I guarantee you.
There we go. Here we go. So we're 63% of our goal. So it's been very different. It's been a very weird campaign, this one. It's a horror story, so it's a little bit different to what I've put out before, but it's an awesome story. It is just a mini series, so this is it's only a 3-part series. So this one is for the first 2 issues, and then we'll get on to the third one. So if you can check it out and pledge towards it, it would be greatly appreciated. But then we got Terra Olympus, which is just killing it at the moment.
I
So
will share the link.
almost up to 200 backers.
And hope the video works this time. So. So just a reminder, if you haven't checked it out already, please do check it out. It's an epic sci-fi thing, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. Look, we've got a few minutes left, so I just want to share a couple of images. So this is a new series, and I'll explain the premise of this new series, and I think you guys might enjoy it. Let me just share a couple of images. So the first image I want to share is the banner image, if it pops up. So it is a fantasy series. So look, we are so far away from this being finished, but it's really cool to show bits and pieces. Now, I won't spoil too much about who the characters in are the back, but the story is called Sisters of Blood. It's basically the two sisters that you can see, one of them holding a sword and one with the bow. And the whole concept is they're trying to find the person who killed their dad. But it's a very much a character piece, which I really enjoyed. It's the one with the sword isn't interested in finding the killer. She it was done when she was a kid. She wants to move on. She wants to live her life and whatever. Her older sister does remember her dad a little bit more, and so for her, it's consumed her, and she won't let the younger sister live her life. She just wants vengeance. So it's a very much the character dichotomy piece, which I really enjoyed. And more importantly, even the choice of weapons I thought was really fine, because it was a little bit of a role reversal. Like one uses a bow, so she lets go of stuff. Uh, but she's the one who can't let go of stuff, and the one who has a sword, who's holding on to it, is the one who wants to let go. I'll show you just a couple more images.
And what's the artist's name on this one?
Abri.
And his art style is very cool, very a little bit different to some of the other stuff that we've produced. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, really nice stuff.
So look, and the other thing is, Wilson, who does all the XCT stuff, has done the major. Look, this is where I love Wilson. If you can kind of see how Abri has done the water, he's done it actually very simply. You can kind of see here in this part. I don't know if you can see the screen. You can see my little mouse. He's kind of left us all blank. He's going, colorist, that's your problem, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. But then I love that Wilson has taken it to task and goes, you know what? It is my problem. I'm gonna give the water texture through. So you can kind of see the stuff that Wilson does to make the artist look good and to make an exceptional image, all the better. And let me share the last image.
And even the background on that one is really good, where it's done the clouds and the sky and everything as well. So
yeah. So even here, like you can kind of see here, and I'll show you how it looks. So I love this. I love the line details, whatever. But he really lets Wilson. I think it's fantastic. You can kind of see the bolt, like it's high tension, it's quivering. But look what Wilson does. He gives it shadow. He gives it texture, so you can actually see that she has muscles, as opposed to where it's just a flat image. So basically both of them are working really, really well together to get this to happen. Look, I'm just showing you this really as a sneak peek. We are still a ways from getting this close to finishing, but we'll share more details in the future. Do you have any XCT stuff you want to share?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So people don't know, XCT is what started it all for me, and it's been a long time in regards to going back and reading the first few issues. I've never been like super happy with it, and I've always wanted to go back and redo it. And we started with coloring XCT Most Wanted, and then I was really lucky to get an artist on board, have Ben Rosenthal come back, who did the latest versions of Fracture Shards, and really clean up a lot of the storyline, a lot of the universe and the world building that I was trying to convey in the first few issues. So I'm excited to showcase the page 1 of the series. So I'm super excited to say that this book, we have now totally finished the artwork, totally finished the colors, and I will send it over to my great mate Stephen to letter shortly. But we are just going to take some time to build up this campaign, so I'll chuck the link in the comments. But we just want to kind of get people back onto the series, and really hit this one off with a bang. So Moira Mike is the artist on this. Absolutely beautiful. Wilson again has colored this, and the story is really in depth and really kind of goes to the heart of what I was trying to convey, that I feel like when I go back and read the other ones, I kind of never was able to really convey what I was trying to tell. And I think that just comes with being a better storyteller, a better writer, a better publisher, all that type of stuff. So so super excited about that. We're going to launch it in 2024. And the other cool thing is, along with that that graphic novel, we are going to release our mythology of XCT. So it's going to be a book full of 40 different monsters and other characters that will show up within the XCT universe. And it'll just be like a breakdown of their backstory and all that type of stuff. So very excited with that. And then later in 2024, we will also be launching the remastered version of XCT Most Wanted, which is fully colored, looks absolutely amazing. And then we'll go on to volume 2 before we get back into the series of volume 5 and everything. So very excited. 2024 is going to be a massive year for XCT, and can really look forward to releasing it a lot more on a regular schedule. So, but if you haven't, please check it out. Follow the page. We'll show more pages and more panels and all that type of stuff throughout the coming months before we launch that. But yeah, super excited.
Awesome. And look, we've crossed time, but hello, Darren, for popping in. So I saw Darren commenting on the artwork. So welcome, Darren. But we are going to close right now. So look, I know we got off on tangents, mainly because the AI thing was something that, look, to be really fair, it's a lot of ethical discussions, and some of it is money related. A lot of it isn't. A lot of it is, you shouldn't have the rights to my likeness and all the rest of it. No real answers, but it'll be really interesting to see how everything pans out, especially in the next couple of years. And especially since they are actively discussing this now. So it's not a case of we're going to kick this one down the can for another 5 years. They're saying, look, we need to sort this stuff out properly now. And even though the strike's over, there's still a lot of points where it's still under, that you could still win, but you could still get taken to court. So I don't think
the actors one's still striking out, mate. That hasn't ended.
The writers one's over. The
writers one is over. So that was around not being able to use AI to write scripts
and stuff like that,
and all that type of stuff. But the actor one, I think, is still going, which is causing a lot of headaches with a lot of productions and that type of stuff. So and it will be interesting if it filters into other other areas of the film industry as well. So, but yeah, enough talking about that. But thanks everyone for joining in on the show. It was a full house tonight, so it was great to see everyone. And we'll be back again next Sunday. Jeez, I must be tired. I can't even get the dates right. We'll be back next Sunday at 10 o'clock. Again, if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, smash that notify bell. We're super excited about all the stuff we've got coming up. We have some cool guests lined up as well. And we just look forward and thank you for all your support. So have a good one, guys.